Cam here from Training Talk. Welcome to this week's episode of Endurance Coaching Business, where we talk all things marketing and business for endurance coaches. Coming to you from Kona on the Big Island in Hawaii this week, here to watch the Ironman World Championships. Try to get here as often as we can. We skipped last year, so good to be back, having a good time, getting some nice warm weather. Good to get out of early spring at home, and by the time we get back should be some great weather. So just a quick word about Training Talk before I get going. Training Talk's an all-in-one branded endurance coaching platform, so great for coaches who want to grow their brand, stand out a bit more from the coaches using the generic coaching platforms, but have all these endurance specific tools that they need to coach their athletes. You can also sell your coaching through our payment features and communicate as well and share it all online. And talking about branding actually is what this episode's about. So branding for coaches, when and why, two important questions. So see a lot of coaches when they first start out, not coaches actually, anyone going into business, when they first start their business, they sort of over index on branding, particularly with a services business like coaching. Like, you literally do not even need a logo or colors to start coaching. All you need is some personal relationships, talking to people. Maybe after you get a first few clients, you can do it with some word of mouth, but you literally don't need a brand at all. And I see a lot of businesses going out there spending money on their logo, on their website, on their color scheme, before they've even talked to potential clients. So branding is important, of course, but not when you're just getting started. The more important thing is to get some clients, get some coaching under your belt, get some money coming in, and then you can move on to thinking of your brand much later than what you probably think. And this is really easy advice to give, but it's hard advice to take because it is a bit counterintuitive and it doesn't make sense to a lot of people who are just getting started. But it's more about the coaching than it is about the brand to begin with. So in saying that though, once you've gotten over that first hump and you've reached a point where you've got revenue coming in, you've got a good business already, and you're no longer worried about whether you're going to have enough money coming in that month, that's when branding starts to be less of a nice to have and more of a powerful tool for growth. So let's define branding a little bit. So branding, your brand is not your logo and your color scheme. So basically branding is everything. So at its core, it's about how people perceive you in your business. It's about how your athletes feel when they see your logo, when they read your content, or they interact with you and your coaching. So a strong brand can help you stand out in a crowded market, which makes it easier to attract customers. It fosters loyalty with your current clients. So your brand's not just about getting new customers. It creates bonds with your current clients, and it builds credibility with you and your brand. And that's especially true in coaching, where athletes, they're not just buying a product or like a training plan or something. They're actually buying into your philosophy, your approach, and ultimately you as a person, you as a coach. So branding helps you to communicate that, what makes you unique. So your philosophy, your approach, and how you coach. So the combination of all of those things makes you unique. And then that's what they use to determine whether they're going to choose your coaching business, you as a coach, over another coaching business. So it doesn't mean you should be obsessing about the logos and your color schemes, but that's where it's important. So a great brand, as I said, it's not just a logo, so it goes beyond those aesthetics. So it's about building trust, delivering value consistently, and creating a sense of community. So those things are nothing to do with your logo or your color scheme or how your website looks. Athletes want to feel like they're part of something bigger, so a dedicated coaching culture that understands them, that they feel like they belong to, and helps them achieve their goals. So this is where your brand can truly shine, by making each of these interactions that you have with your athletes, potential athletes, meaningful. So that can be through content, through training plans, or just through your communication with people, personal or online. So that's all a bit out there and hard, no, not that tangible. So let's bring it back to some things that you can do to start to set this brand up. So creating a style guide. So a style guide can help you maintain this consistency in your branding. So even though I've said that, your brand isn't just the logo and your color scheme, as you do all of these other things that I was talking about, that is when your logo and your color scheme becomes important, because they now link those things together. So it's important because it links all of those other things. So when people see it, they know, and they link it back together, and that's where that bond becomes really strong. So it needs to be really consistent. Otherwise, they're not going to link those things together over time. So this includes things like your colors, your logo placement, visual elements that make your social posts recognizable, using templates. So a style guide that can include how to use your logo, all of the different colors, like color codes in your designs, and then how those will be used. For example, how your logo might be used when you publish a training plan, or how your logo might be used when you publish to social media. How big does it need to be? Does it go in the top or left-hand corner? And there's tools out there to help you do this. So I use Canva for that. So you've probably heard of that. It's like a graphic design tool that makes you be able to create really nice graphic design tools without any real graphic design skills. Saves you a lot of money, saves you time from paying a graphic designer, and you have access to all of the assets as well. And inside that, you can set up all of your color schemes. You can upload your logos, different versions of your logos. You might have one with a black background. You might have one with a transparent background, slightly different colors. So those are all, put them all in one here in your style guide, and have them all available. The other thing is, same place you can do it in something like Canva, is you can develop design templates for all of your graphic design. So that can be for social media, or for PDFs you produce, or for printable stuff. If you get training kit or apparel printed, that can all be a template in something like Canva. So Adobe Spark is more of a traditional one where you can store those sort of things as well. And having these templates means all you need to do is every time you want to create some new graphics, you just use that same template, and everything remains consistent. And the power of that is this design consistency across all of your social posts and media and apparel will have a cumulative effect on any one individual that sees them, and it builds up a picture of your brand. Like I said before, combining those other things, the way you communicate, your culture, your philosophies, those then become intrinsically tied together. Canva is a great place to store those templates as well. So I do that in Canva. So every time I want to create a design, I just go and look for one of my templates, use that, put in the text, etc., maybe other images, pull out Canva. So the other thing is moving away from those designs and logos and things again, is establishing guiding principles for you and your coaches. So the way you behave and the way you communicate in public and in your content and in your media. So this is to ensure consistency in your athlete's experience. So establish these guiding principles for you and your coaches, if you've got a team of coaches, that align with your brand values. So these principles should include consistency in training platforms. So if you've got a bunch of coaches on your team, they should really be all using the same coaching platform and the same types of workouts, the same coaching philosophies. And a lot of coaches don't actually do that. They might have a bunch of coaches and they just let that coach decide what training platforms they use. And then they'll have their own different types of workouts, their whole different types of philosophies. And that can work okay. But if you're really trying to build this strong brand, that's not going to help. So if you get new coaches on board, you can give them these guiding principles, and all it needs to be is like a bullet list of all of these things. This is our overarching philosophy on coaching. This is how we think about rest and recovery. This is how our coaches should interact when they're at races, and these sort of principles. And you need to get all of your coaches to sign up for this if you want to establish this consistent brand across all of your coaches and all of your athletes that you have under your umbrella. So all of those steps will make your brand experience consistent, recognizable, which is probably the most important thing. When people see the brand, they know who you are. They can link it back to all of the stuff that they've seen in the past. A lot of the time, particularly on social media, you'll see a coach post like an image or something, and it's completely different to the previous one that they posted. And even if it's really good, like it's really valuable or insightful, the people that see it don't link it back to your brand if they can't make those connections between the last one that they saw. So, when you're trying to establish authority with potential athletes, you need them to be able to see things that you've created over and over and over again. So if you've got like a random font or a random color or something, or a random image behind it, and there's no real way to link all of your posts together, the people that see them, they just won't make that link. People don't look at the profile or who posted this as much as they will see that same branding and they'll go, oh, that's the same as that one I saw the other day. And then that builds up that trust over time. So those are some 3 really good things to do. So creating a style guide, creating those design templates for social media and any other graphics you have, and establishing guiding principles for you and your coaches. So even if you're a solo coach, you should write down those principles for yourself so you know how in your head you probably got them anyway, but having them written down makes a big difference for you to make sure that you stick to them. So now I just want to talk a little bit about one of our plans we have at Training Tilt for coaches. It's called our Ultimate Plan. So if you're a coach that really values brand and you want to really stand out from the other coaches that use the generic platforms like Training Peaks or TriDot or Final Search, they're all really good coaching platforms. But when athletes are using them, they're using Final Search, they're using Training Peaks, or they're using TriDot. They might allow you some basic branding where you can put your logo in there or something, but really their account is with that platform, not with your coaching business. So with Training Tilt, we sort of tip that around a little bit. So even with our basic plans, when you get a site, the athletes belong to that coaching business. They don't belong to Training Tilt. We don't sell anything directly to athletes at all. We don't market to athletes. We don't email athletes trying to sell them training plans for other coaches on our platform. They can't take that account and then move it to some other coach who is using Training Tilt, when you sign up to Training Tilt, you're signing up to a coaching platform that is yours. But we actually have a more advanced plan that makes that branding even stronger, and that's our ultimate plan. So with this one, you can create a fully branded experience that can really take things to the next level. So, imagine the difference between having your athletes download a generic app, which is some coaching platform, versus a platform that's distinctly yours. So, if you were Global Endurance Inc., they would go to the App Store and actually download the Global Endurance Inc. app. And then you would have your logo and the icon, the loading screens that load up, that would all be your graphics, your consistent brand, all of the color scheme inside the app would be yours. And there wouldn't be any Training Tilt branding in that app at all. And it's exactly the same for the web apps as well as the mobile apps. So, like I said before, branding may not be what makes or breaks brand new coaching businesses, because all you need to get started is get a few athletes on board. But when you're ready to grow, it can be what really sets you apart. So if you're at that stage where growth is your focus and you're ready to create a more powerful connection with your athletes, then maybe our ultimate plan might be something that you could think about. So I'll just quickly, so you can go to trainingtilt.com and then scroll down and you'll see the branded feature on our homepage, and then you can click through to, I'll just click through here so we know. So if I just scroll down here, we've got this feature here. So elevate your brand with custom apps. So that's our ultimate plan. And you can see here, this is the image of our, if you just listen to the podcast, you can go to YouTube and watch this video and see this one, or you can go straight to the website and just check it out. And you can book a demo, but if you click the Learn More button here, it'll show you our landing page with all of the details of this branded app. So it's the same app that your athletes would use if you're just on the normal version of Training Tilt, except all our branding is stripped out of it. But the more important thing is that your branding is all in there. So you get these apps installed into the iPhone and Android app store specifically for your brand. So like if your brand was a Global Endurance Coaching, it would be Global Endurance Coaching that they search for in the app stores, and you would see like an icon there. And we can design all your icons for you based on your logo and your color scheme. We put together all of the screenshots that go in the App Store listings, the logo, the loading screen. So, when you open an app for the first time, it's got like we call it a splash screen, and that screen comes up. So that would be yours instead of Training Tilt. And then they're always using your branded mobile app. And then, of course, the Training Tilt platform has a bunch of stuff that's in the web app as well. So all of that is also branded as well. So the Training Tilt branding is stripped out of it, and it's all your branding. And then just like we have lots of advanced customization in Training Tilt as well that you just can't do with the other platforms. So that's part of that power of a customizable branded experience. One of the other big things is as well that most people don't realize how much work goes into keeping the apps up to date. So a lot of people might go and commission someone to actually build a mobile app for themselves, but not realize that the initial cost, even though that's a lot of money, is really just the beginning, and maintenance over time costs a lot more than the initial build once you've been going for a few years, which obviously that's what you want to be doing. You want to be going for years and years and years. And the monthly subscription that you pay for the ultimate version of Training Tilt, your own branded apps, covers a fully managed service and priority support as well. So whenever we fix bugs or add new features to our main app, then we also add them to all our Ultimate Plan customers as well, and we deploy those changes, get them approved in the App Store, which can be really tedious and take a bit of time, but we take care of that. So if you were thinking that maybe commissioning someone to build your own app because you want it to do this and that and you haven't been able to find it, just be wary that that'll cost you a lot of money over time, and most coaching businesses wouldn't be able to justify that in terms of cost, because you really would end up being a software business in terms of what you'd be spending your money on, rather than a coaching business, which you really want to remain being. So also as part of the Ultimate Plan, we've got some really smart marketing integrations, so you can connect it up with your email marketing systems. So you might be using one of those if you're really looking to grow your brand, combined with e-commerce and things like that. So an example of that is if you're selling like group coaching or interactive training plans, not necessarily one-on-one coaching, you might be using a email marketing system to send content out to your email list and then maybe try and sell things as well. And then we can trigger taking someone out of a campaign, say if they actually purchase something through your emails, we can tell that email system that person has purchased now. We'll take them out of the campaign because you don't want to keep sending people emails to buy stuff if they've already bought it, etc. And also another integration with an app called Intercom, where you can have a little support system and a little chat bubble inside the app as well, so you can support your clients that way. And yeah, so I think that sort of covers our plan. So going back to that, started off with how branding's not really important when you're just getting started, but if you really want to stand out from all of the other coaches, you probably don't want to be using one of the generic coaching platforms, and it would be better to have your own branded system to really use the power of your brand. And we enable that through our Ultimate Plan. So if you're interested in that, please reach out. We can go to the website here and use one of these book a demo buttons, and that'll be me on the other end, and I will show you how it all works, talking through the process of getting it all set up, how long it takes, etc., what we need from you in terms of brand and colours and stuff to get it all set up, and we can work together to get that going. So thanks again for listening, and I will talk to you again soon. Mahalo.